Quote, women have two choices. Either she's a feminist or a masochist, end quote. So wrote Gloria Steinem, who grew up poor and with a great deal of responsibility. Her mother suffered from severe depression, and it was up to Steinem to care for her year after year. She got a taste of independence when she moved in with her sister, but her real journey began when she graduated from Smith College and was awarded a scholarship in India. There, she not only studied, but became very involved with nonviolent protesting against caste-related injustice, a focus she would take with her for life. She made a lifelong friend there, Ruchira Gupta, who went on to found Apni Op Women Worldwide. During her time in India, Steinem studied the organizing principles of Mahatma Gandhi and later used them to strengthen the feminist movement. Steinem then headed to New York City, where she would begin the foundation of her life's work as a feminist activist and author. She wrote a column for New York Magazine, and her battle for justice for women and exploited children grew steadily. Each piece of writing, each speech, each protest focused more and more heavily on politics, writing, quote, when unique voices are united in a common cause, they make history, end quote. And a clue to her approach for the liberation of women can be found in her quote, the first problem for all of us, men and women, is not to learn, but to unlearn, end quote. Steinem was inspired by the infamous Red Stockings, a radical group of feminists, and their passion further motivated her. Some of the organizations that Steinem either founded or co-founded include Voters for Choice, the Women's Media Center, and the Coalition of Labor Union Women. In addition, she co-founded the Women's Action Alliance, which acted as a center for information about the non-sexist education of multi-ethnic children. Steinem even produced and hosted a television program, Woman with Gloria Steinem, exploring all topics relevant to women. Steinem was nothing if not bold, and offered herself as a lightning rod for the more conservative portion of U.S. society by publicly sharing her experience of having an abortion overseas at the age of 22. In this way, Steinem acted as an empowered barrier between critics and other women, daring the ignorant to go through her before further attacking others. In 1971, she co-founded a coalition of labor union women. This group gathered thousands of women and encouraged them to become more involved in unions, while also fighting for issues such as gender wage gap inequality, affirmative action, and child care and maternal leave. Members were also encouraged to make themselves heard by contacting politicians and participating in nonviolent demonstrations against gender discrimination. Steinem also had an idea in the back of her mind and was determined to see it to fruition. And in 1972, it was realized. She founded the wildly successful Ms. magazine, dedicated to all issues concerning women. This publication is still in print and is a major player in the magazine industry. Steinem is an internationally renowned author, writing books such as 1983's Outrageous Acts and Everyday Rebellions, 1992's Revolution from Within, 1994's Moving Beyond Words, Age, Rage, Sex, Power, Money, Muscles, Breaking the Boundaries of Gender, and the more recent My Life on the Road in 2015. In her equally successful article publications, Steinem has been featured in New York Times Magazine, Glamour, Esquire, Time Magazine, among others. It was a 2020 Time Magazine article in which Steinem gave what was essentially a progress report of feminism since she was published in the same magazine 50 years previous. At that time, it was the future she envisioned for women, and this piece encompassed what she saw now. She writes in 2020, quote, a belief in equality without division by sex or race is now held by a huge majority in public opinion polls, but a stubborn minority of Americans feel deprived of the unearned privilege of that old hierarchy, end quote. In the 1970 Time article, Steinem saw an educational future that seems mostly accurate. Quote, half the teachers will be men, a rarity now at preschool and elementary levels. New courses in sexual politics will explore female subjugation as the model for political oppression, and women's history will be an academic staple, along with black history, at least until the white male-oriented textbooks are integrated and rewritten, end quote. It is Steinem's first claim that half the teachers will be men, which she admits has not been realized. Today she points out that this cannot change until the salaries of school teachers match those of other countries. Even at the age of 80, Gloria Steinem is still active in various lectures and movements worldwide. Her list of commemorative achievements is much too long to list, but a very special one came in 2013, when President Barack Obama awarded her with the highest honor that can be bestowed on an American civilian, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Let's end with a Steinem quote that seems to encapsulate her strength, motivation, and edginess. Quote, "We are the women our parents warned us against, and we are proud." End quote. Thank you to the National Women's Hall of Fame, womenshistory.org, Britannica.com, PBS.org, Time Magazine, and Equality Now for content assistance in this podcast.